Hey boys and girls, it's Mrs. Kelly, and this is lesson 2.12 to 12, Finding Line Symmetry. Make sure you get that and today's date recorded in your notebook. You can pause me while you accomplish that, and then come on back when you're ready. Alright, so the math message for today is to take a look at Math Masters page 83. It shows half of a picture. Fill in what you think the other half looks like. So you're going to need to have picked up that resource from me in school, or it is also available on our web page under Lesson 212 resource pages. You'll find this one and then many others that we'll need during this lesson. Okay, so take care of that. And once you've done that, here's some steps for you. So fold the paper in half along the dotted line, and then carefully cut along the solid lines, and then unfold the cutout picture. When you get that done, see if you can answer these questions. Do you see when the picture is folded, the two halves match? Shapes that have this are said to have line symmetry, and the fold line is called the line of symmetry. You're going to want to take some notes on that. When you get that all set in your notebook, come on back. So let's think of some other things that are symmetrical, things that have at least one line of symmetry. So think about some things in nature and jot some down for yourself, and maybe some things at school and some things at home. And then once you have that done in your notebook, come on back again. So here's some things that I came up with. Yours don't need to match mine. As long as yours makes sense, we are in good shape. So I was thinking about pumpkins. Now that it's in October and getting close to Halloween, I can imagine myself cutting through a pumpkin and having the two halves match. I can only think of doing that one way in order to have them match, though, and that's something we'll be discussing going forward. And then some leaves are very symmetrical, and then some butterflies are really symmetrical. Some things at school, I was thinking about a door. Now, it wouldn't be a door that has handles on one side because that wouldn't make it symmetrical, but some of the cabinet doors that don't have a handle, that would work. And then some chairs, and then a math journal, a blank math journal, right? It couldn't be our regular math journal because it has words printed on it, so that wouldn't match perfectly. But something that shape that was blank definitely would. And maybe a piece of lined paper, if it didn't have the holes on one side, that would work too. And then at home, maybe some of your chairs might do that. A spoon possibly could do that, or probably, I guess I would say. And then a table, depending on what your table looks like. So we've been discussing all sorts of different attributes lately. We discussed parallel lines and right angles, and now we're going to discuss symmetry and what it means when something is symmetrical. That's another attribute that we could apply to a shape. Take some notes on this. When you are set, come on back. So this is another page that you needed to pick up. And for this one, you need to cut the shapes out, not the cards like we did on another assignment that you did, but this time you actually have to cut the shapes out. It'll make it easier for you. I guess I wouldn't say you have to. You could probably do it if they're in the big squares or rectangles there, but it might be easier if they were cut totally out. Your choice, I guess. We'll go with that. So if you fold the leaf so the two halves match, could you fold it another way so the two halves will match again? Check that out, see what you think, and when you're done with that, come on back. I'm going to say it only can have one way that it would be able to be folded, so it does have symmetry. It has one line of symmetry, but it only has one. I couldn't fold it another way to make it work again. All right, so let's take a look at, how about the football? Can you fold the football in half so the two sides match? And if you can you do it another way so that the two sides match? Give that a try, and when you think you have it, come on back. And I'm going to say yes. Yes, this football has two lines of symmetry because either way that I folded it in half, it would match the other side. So while the leaf and the football have different amounts of lines of symmetry, they both would be said to be symmetrical. So keep that in mind. Okay. You're going to try that with the last two shapes there, and then you're going to record all of this information. I did take a screenshot for you of journal page 61, math journal page 61. You're recording the information in here. The leaf had one, the football had two, and then you're going to do the turtle and the bow tie. So once you get that done, filled this out, then come on back again. So hopefully you saw the turtle has one line of symmetry. If I tried to cut it the other way, the head and the tail certainly wouldn't match, right? And for the bow tie, you can see that it has two. If my lines were drawn perfectly, that would make it even a little more sense. I see that I'm a little crooked there, but you get the concept, and hopefully when you folded it, you were able to see both of those lines of symmetry would work. So again, turtle has one, bow tie has two. Both would be said to be symmetrical shapes. Okay, now you're going to be moving on your journal page because it also asks you to take a look at all these different polygons and to do the same kind of work. You want to know number of lines of symmetry. My advice to you is to cut them out and do the full thing. Some kids try and take a shortcut and just eyeball it, and they almost always get many of these wrong. So my advice is cut them out like you did the other things and really give it a try. Some of them are a little deceiving from what it looks and what you might think. So up to you. That's what I would do. And then you're going to answer these questions down at the bottom based on some of the different polygons here. Okay? When you have, and I'm sorry, don't forget the bottom question. Circle the polygons that you think are symmetrical of these. Once you have this page totally completed, come on back and take a look to see if our answers are the same. And here's what I say. And I know that some of you are going to be like, wait, how can that be? Some of those numbers aren't right. They actually are right. So if you didn't take my advice the first time and cut the shape out to prove these things to yourself, go do that now. These answers are correct. What it says on there, they're correct. So take another look if you need to prove it to yourself. This is a good practice page. It's okay if you made some mistakes on here. Just make sure you can figure out how you got them incorrect if you did. And then here's the home link that matches this lesson. So it's out of 11 points because you need to draw the other half of the shapes on problem 1, and you have to draw a line of symmetry on each of them as well. That's going to be multiple things right there. Drawing a line of symmetry only for problem number 2, and then listing some things from your house that are symmetrical. Don't use the ones we already talked about. Try and come up with some other things, and then pick one of them and draw it. That's what it asks you to do there. Please do the practice problems even though you know they don't count in your score. They are very good practice, and addition and subtraction are skills you will always need. So practicing those is smart, and writing them out so that you can put them vertically aligned is also smart. That will help you from making some simple math errors. Okay, when you think you have that done, you're welcome to come back and check the answers on this video or to check it on our webpage in the answer pages. Totally up to you. And here come the answers, so pause this now until you get it done. And here are the answers. Again, I'm saying this out of 11 points. Do your best, score it, put the answers on your yellow math mastery sheet, and check in with me if you need some more support on these concepts, and let me know how you did. All right, have a good one.